I joined the United States Army in 1999, just after high school. I ended up serving a little over 10 years and went to Iraq twice.
Definitely not a fan of sandstorms.
In 2009, after I'd come back from Iraq the second time, I had the idea of wanting to do this series on YouTube to kind of show people what it was like going from being a soldier and then trying to transition to becoming a civilian. So I believe it was about 7 months out from getting out of the Army, started this YouTube series called Soldier to Civilian. The intro for Soldier to Civilian is me playing guitar. I had some drum tracks on my computer and I just kind of made this little, pretty much a simple riff and laid it on top of some drum tracks and used that as my intro music because it wasn't easy to find, you know, non-copyrighted music to use in YouTube back in that time. So you pretty much had to create your own, or you had to, you know, just have some friends that maybe created music that you could get some stuff from. So I just created my own little intro and animated a little thing together over top of the ACU pattern, and that was the intro for Soldier to Civilian. The first episode was really rough. I was just coming off of block leave, and I kind of captured just some stuff that I think I had done before going back to work the next day, to include shaving my head before I had to go back in. The vacation is over, and it's about time to get prepared for work again tomorrow. So that means I'm gonna have to shave off all the facial hair and cut the hair. So now it's time for a little fast motion action of me cutting my hair. Now this was in my early YouTube days, so I really didn't know what I was doing. I just would turn on the camera and just kind of talk to it, which ended up with a lot of rambling shots, but from that there was some cool kind of experiences that were captured of the life that I was living being in the Army. Now we're doing some radio training, and we're not doing the first aid thing, but it's basically how it goes on sergeant's time days. You do training all the way up until lunch, like around 12, and now we do some kind of like combat physical training in the morning, which was the combatives that we did in there. It was myself and another individual that were instructors, because we're both level 1 certified. So now we're here in the motor pool doing some combo stuff, and I'm really hungry and I can't wait till lunch. The second episode actually had some pretty good stuff. We had sergeant's time training, which if you don't know what that is, on Thursdays you would conduct sergeant's time training, which is where the NCOs would teach the lower enlisted some kind of basic skills. It's definitely like pretty crazy looking back on it and kind of seeing, you know, skinnier obviously, and you know, without, you know, any facial hair or anything like that. So it's a little weird looking back. It feels like a really long time ago. I mean, I guess it kind of was. It was probably around 7 years ago now, but looking at the video footage, it feels like longer than that. So I'm out here at the range. The last several years that I was in the Army, I was the ammo NCOIC, which means that I was in charge of all the ammo for the unit. That meant I was the one who had to kind of coordinate the pickup of the ammo for training and the turn-in of the ammo, which also led to usually me kind of being accountable for the ammo on the ranges when we were utilizing, you know, the ammo to do 50 cal ranges or M4 ranges or whatever we might be doing, and I would have to, you know, a lot of times just work the shack and be me and another soldier that was in my section, just kind of running it and kind of keeping accountability over the ammo. So I was just talking to Chad Alife over here, that it seems like every time I go to these things, I'll usually bring out a bunch of drinks, a bunch of food stuff to snack on, and I don't use like most of it. Barely any of it used up. Today, I didn't bring it, and I am thirsty as hell. Look at McLaughlin over here. Happy as can be. He's got his water bottle. He's got his little grape powdered, lemon lime powder mix. What do I got? I got a smashed empty Rockstar can that I downed earlier, and now I'm thirsty as hell. And I got still like another 4 or 5 hours before I get to go home. What am I gonna do? What am I going to do? I definitely don't miss the long nights. There was a lot of times where, you know, you weren't getting off until late because of training going on or whatever, especially like with ranges and having a night fire and all that stuff. So I'm definitely glad that, you know, if I have to work more than the 8 hours for the day, then either I'm getting off earlier, somewhere later in the week, or I'm getting paid overtime. So that's a really big kind of difference from being in the Army to being in the civilian life that I really enjoy. During my second tour to Iraq, we had an interpreter. Her name was Chris, and she was our interpreter for our platoon. She would go on missions with us. She was the person that would, you know, be the interpreter for the barrier between us and local nationals or crane operators or local police or whatever the case might be. She had got into a relationship with a guy from the previous unit before we showed up in Iraq, and they stayed in contact, and he wanted her to come back to the United States and so that they could get married and spend their life together and everything. And she had finally gone through all the process and everything and made it to the United States and was actually living in Denver, so not very far from all of us. And she wanted to kind of meet up with us to, you know, hang out and catch up a little bit. It had been like several months since we last saw her and everything. So she came down to Colorado Springs with her husband, and we kind of all got a chance to kind of hang out a little bit and say hi to her and meet her husband. I'm actually still friends with her. I see her on Facebook and everything, and you know, she actually sent me and my girlfriend some baby clothes and everything for Zarel, so I actually still am in contact with her now. Well, the week is now over, and it was quite the busy one. Cats are flipping out. Stop flipping out, kitty. Chill. Kitty. I will check all of you out next week. See ya.